But my point is, we go from us not being able to sell this coin for 120,000 in 2002, for now it brings 650,000. And when I was at the ANA show, I had somebody come up to me, another dealer, and they said their client wants to own this exact coin, and they offered me up to 1.5 million. And my client said no. If any of you like the 100 Greatest series, we're in our third volume of the third edition 100 Greatest Coins. When I was at the ANA in Chicago a couple weeks ago, Whitman, who's the publisher of my dad's book, The 100 Greatest, they decided to start going smaller format on some of their regular books. And the first one that they did was a 6x9 of the 100 Greatest.
Oh, nice.
So it's a much smaller version. The other one's tabletop. So here's the tabletop version, and here's the new version.
Nice, cool.
And it's the exact same book.
Okay.
Except this one can actually go with you to shows. Easy to carry around. It's easier to ship. And this one costs $25. This one's $35. So it's also cheaper.
And does it have the same quality of pages and whatnot in there? In the small?
Same pages.
Oh, cool. Right on. Awesome.
The only difference is that this one's matte and this one is gloss.
Okay.
That's the only difference. But, you know, but it's all the same language. It's all the same, you know, maybe because it doesn't have gloss, it's maybe not as high quality, but but all the verbiage, there's nothing missing in it, put it that way. It's all the same.
Cool.
So, you know, I mean, here is obviously here's the Eidmar.
Yep.
So a little bit different layout. Because here's the Eidmar on this page, and here is the Eidmar on the larger format.
Yeah, very cool.
So it's just an everything's just more abbreviated.
Okay.
That's all.
That's awesome. I'll probably have to get me one of each. I really like the big ones as well. There's
big ones are good. It's just hard to ship, and it's not like you can put this in your backpack easily. You know?
Right, or on the coffee table necessarily.
I saw a lot of people buying these and walking around with them at the show. It just makes it easier. You know, like, or if you go on a trip, it's easier to take this on a trip than it is to take this big thing on a trip. This is more for the coffee table at home. This is more for like carrying it around. So as far as the population goes, somebody asked, I've heard now up to about 120 silver Eidmar are available, you know, or out there, museum, you know, in circulation. I think that for the gold, there's only 3. 2 in institutions. Well, one is in an institution. One just got returned to Greece because it was confiscated. And then there's the one with the hole, which is in the new 100 Greatest, which my client owns. So now my client owns the only one in private hands. And but silver ones, there was only at one point, there was only 50 or 60. And then there was a hoard found in the 90s in Greece, supposedly on a farm. And if you look at most Eidmars that come onto the market without old pedigrees, they're all from that hoard. And they were all improperly cleaned, and they all have rough surfaces.
Oh.
So that probably added 20 to 30 to the population. And then there's been some others, you know, I got the 120 number from NGC because I was at the ANA, and I was talking about Eidmars with David Vagey, who's the head of Ancients there. He's the one who's always on Pawn Stars.
Yep.
And he thought 120 was the range. So
okay.
I would have said 80 to 100. He thinks 120. I'm not going to argue. I think it's all just like, who cares? There's not a lot, but there's more of them than people think. But it's because it's such a popular coin, the price is like skyrocketed. So my client also bought, just to give you an idea on pricing, and people always, when I talk about expensive coins, people are like, you know who you're talking to. Most people can't afford those, but we can all talk about it. I can't afford it either, but I can, and luckily I've gotten to hold them because I represent them. That's the nice thing about being a good dealer, is that I get to represent people who have more money than me. So
yeah, no doubt,
it's possible for me to actually handle these things. But so in 2002 or 4, my dad and I were offered a Eidmar that was once owned by the Hunt brothers, and we paid, and it's this coin right here, and we paid $100,000 for this coin in 2002. We held it for a year. The market was crappy. We couldn't sell good ancient coins for anything. We were offering it for $120,000, couldn't sell it. After 1 year, we sold it for $112,000 on payments to a guy in Canada. And then it went through a couple hands. And then in 2012, it ended up in a heritage sale, and it brought $500,000. And that was the first time that an ancient coin had ever brought, like, of that magnitude, had ever brought that kind of money. Because before that, only one ancient coin had broken the $1 million mark. In US coins, it happens all the time, but in ancient coins, it had never happened, except for one time. Now it's happened quite a few times.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So this coin actually broke the record for the most expensive Eidmar at $500,000 in 2012. I bought it back. It came back through auction 2 summers ago, and I bought it for my client for $600,000. And so all in, I think he paid about $650,000 for it. And then there was an Eidmar that just came up in the NAC sale in the spring. It was better than this one, had a better pedigree. This one has a 1930s pedigree as well, but the other one had a 30s pedigree, but it was more centered on this reverse side. And it brought all in 1.2 million, which broke the record of this coin. But my point is, we go from us not being able to sell this coin for $120,000 in 2002, for now it bringing $650,000. And when I was at the ANA show, I had somebody come up to me, another dealer, and they said their client wants to own this exact coin, and they offered me up to 1.5 million. And my client said no. So actually, my client's a pretty cool guy, and what he said was, when I said the first offer was $1 million, and my client said, no, I don't want to sell it right now, but if I ever do, I'll let him know. And then they came back and they said, well, what if he paid up to 1.5 million? And I told my client that, and I said, I know the answer is no, but I'm letting you know because I have to do my due diligence for you to let you know. And his answer to me back was, tell them that there are a lot of Eidmars coming up in the world, and there's no reason to pay that kind of money for one.
Oh, cool.
So he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to see somebody overpay just to make a lot of money.
Yeah, well, speaking on that, TheBee is asking, do we know about the well, let's see, what is he saying?
Well, that's what I was answering.
Okay.
Oh, the die break. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely, there was a study done in the 50s of Eidmars, done by a numismatist named Kahn, and he published all of the silver Eidmars in museums and in collections at the time. And so, yeah, you can see some varieties in the dies and things like that. But since the new Horde came out, that's kind of changed things a bit.